This is the Great Vocal Majority Podcast. Hey everybody, it's Tony Contasmati, and this is the Great Vocal Majority Podcast, Volume 62. And this podcast is entitled Obama's Gambit in Kenya. Well, during a speech made in Kenya, Barack Obama referred to himself as, and this is a quote, the first sitting American president to come from Kenya. Well, this has reignited social media into a storm of controversy about Obama's actual place of birth again. The whole thing is ridiculous because the question has already been settled. Obama was born in Hawaii. But why would Obama say something like this if it were not true? There are some clever political reasons why Obama would like to renew the controversy. Let's examine some of them. To do so, first it would be better to examine an overlooked aspect of the whole controversy, that when Obama graduated from Harvard, he planned to write a book. A lot of people don't realize that Obama planned to write a book that actually never ended up getting written. But to have his book idea considered by publishers, Obama employed the services of a publicist. And this publicist worked for other prominent people, like one example is Tip O'Neill, who at the time was Speaker of the House of Representatives, and a pamphlet containing bio-sketches of each of this publicist's clients was printed and distributed in 1991. Obama's entry noted that he was born in Kenya. Now, it was believed that the pretense of being Kenyan-born, even though it wasn't true, would make Obama's book more attractive to potential publishers. Now, Obama had to know what his publisher wrote on his behalf, and it's hard to imagine how a publicist for a young, ambitious, and driven Harvard law grad was able to write a single word about her client without the full knowledge and consent of that client. Now, the pamphlet remained uncorrected and in circulation for 17 years, and it was only corrected in early 2008 when it resurfaced, as so many things do in the heat of a political campaign during the nomination process. But by then, people in the Clinton campaign had already latched on to the Kenyan birth conspiracy. Politically, claiming Obama was born in Kenya and not eligible to become president due to vague and arcane rules existing at the time of his birth about the duration of residency, particularly for his father, seemed at that point petty and even maybe racially motivated. So Obama claimed to be born in Hawaii, and there seemed to be a preponderance of circumstantial evidence pointing in that direction, enough at least to marginalize those still questioning his eligibility to become president. So while the controversy settled down on the Democrat side of the aisle, it was only getting started on the Republican side. Obama kept just enough of his personal background out of sight, and the media was sufficiently incurious about his personal background to perpetuate the controversy. People would ask, where are his college transcripts? Because they believed that there might be a hint in there that he was claiming to be a foreign exchange student and therefore not an American. Not realizing, evidently, that you can claim to be a foreign exchange student and still be an American. It's just a lie. But, never mind any of that. But people would also ask, where is his birth certificate? Even one of his aunts in Kenya claimed to have witnessed his birth in Kenya. The governor of Hawaii, however, had his birth certificate on file and related documents in the state archives. See, it seemed that the controversy could be ended once and for all if Obama, by this time president, simply released his birth certificate proving the location of his birth. Politically, it made no sense for Obama to actually do that. By not releasing them, he could marginalize his opponents by conflating them with conspiracy theorists as people on the fringe of reality. And that works to empower a politician. Now, I'm going to stop here because I want to say something. I want to digress a little bit. Doesn't this remind you a lot about the way Donald Trump holds back his tax returns? It's the same thing, folks. Everybody on the left thinks there's something hidden in Donald Trump's tax returns. It's ridiculous to even think that because Donald Trump is forever audited, so there's nothing that's going to be found on his tax returns. And plus, his tax returns are thousands of pages long. So why would Trump even after promising he would release them, why would he ever release them? Because it's easier. It empowers him politically. He'll not lose any support, and he can marginalize his opposition as conspiracy theorists, which is exactly what Obama did, getting back to that, with his birth certificate. You see how that works? Eventually, Obama did release his birth certificate, but not before tampering with them. And this was discovered because there were document experts that looked at it. But still, it was politically brilliant because even if Obama did tamper with the documents or had somebody tamper with them for him, it didn't prove that he was born outside the United States. It just proved that the documents had been messed with. That's all. But it was enough. It's enough to keep the controversy going for some people. The birth certificate's presence by themselves is enough to kill the controversy for others. And that's exactly what Obama wanted to do. He wanted to split. He wanted to divide and conquer. He knew that he would satisfy some people, but not others, and the controversy would still go. He would still be getting mileage out of that controversy because it benefited him politically. See, it must be understood that this is how the left works. This is what they do. They are about psychological operations using information and disinformation. And you got to really understand that to understand what Obama is doing. Now, perpetuating the birther conspiracy was so politically effective for Obama, it appears that he might be attempting, and I say might, be attempting to get it started again. Now consider this. How damaging would it be for President Trump's credibility if he were to start tweeting endlessly about Obama's statement in Kenya recently? Trump was one of those who was obsessed with Obama's proof of citizenship and natural-born qualifications. He gave up the ghost very reluctantly when those documents were released, saying that they were tampered with, which they were. If he were to continue to obsess about it again, it would alienate at least some of his supporters who are currently loyal to him as any politician could ever hope for. So this podcast is a word of warning to the Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump. Don't fall for Obama's trap. He's attempting to goad you. Taking the bait will not serve America and will not make us greater or stronger. That's it for me. I'm Tony Codispoti from GreatVocalMajority.com and YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. And take care. I'll speak to you guys soon.